Hello?
Is Abigail there?
I'm sorry, who?
Abigail.
No, sorry, I think you've got the wrong number.
2 days ago, he tried to run me over. I'm not making this up. He tried to kill me. I just need help.
I can offer you advice, but I can't do anything else. I wish I could.
How are you settling into the new flat? Are you okay?
I need my pills. Hello?
Is Abigail there?
No, she isn't. Abigail's not here. No one lives here by that name. What is this?
You can't get involved, Mike.
I'm not going to play this game anymore.
Is she there?
Hi and welcome to the Soho London Independent Film Festival. I'm Liz Farah-Hardy and I'm really excited because today I am joined with the fabulous director of Eyes of Marge, and this is lovely Lily Howkins, who is back. You were with us a couple of years ago, weren't you?
I was, yes.
Yes, and this time you've come back directing.
Yep.
It's so exciting. Just could you tell our audience just a little bit, without giving anything away?
Yes.
A little bit about the film, please.
Yeah, of course. So the film is based around a social worker who is working obviously in a very overstrapped environment and under a lot of pressure in his job, and he starts to receive phone calls from an anonymous woman looking for a lady called Abigail, who he's never heard of before. Says, wrong number, moves on, but these phone calls keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and the plot kind of moves on from there. So, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of those films that has you kind of go, is it like really on the edge, like the suspense? I mean, what attracted you to the script?
I think it was a combination of two things. I think the fact that I liked it as an unsettling, like you say, kind of edge of your seat, what's happening, horror, and the way that unfolded. And I'm quite a fan of how it's quite a slow horror as well, like the build in it. But then on the flip side of that, I was also really interested in the context that inspired the writer to write the script, which was this kind of, pressure cooker at the time, it felt like, of violence towards women that was in the news. And he felt the need to write something in response to that and set it in that context. So I think it was just an interesting one for me because that was something, as a woman living in London that, you're very aware of and you feel quite present, and all my friends are aware of. And to combine that with this great kind of slow build horror on top of that, I just felt was a really interesting combination of things, and both elements drew me to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's we have kind of a thing sometimes where we think it's only documentaries that can bring up these kinds of subject matters, but actually sometimes a story that you get involved with is much more of a platform in a lot of ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting as well that you've used a male character in it. Was that a conscious decision?
That's one of the things that I also loved about the script, to be honest with you, because especially when I was pulling images for the lookbook and so on, anything that had that kind of stalker element from, it's quite a typical horror genre, it was always an image of a woman on a phone receiving a phone call from a male voice. And I thought it was just an interesting element of the film that the writers made it a male character receiving phone calls from an anonymous woman, and how he feels about his personal space being invaded and his privacy, and the kind of growing unease throughout the film as he feels less and less safe in his own environment. I thought it was I really liked the traditional gendered role swap there. I thought it was an interesting element of it, and I think it kind of sometimes doing something like that makes you reflect on it even more, because you're kind of noticing the differences, because it's slightly not what you're used to or what you're expecting. So I thought it was
Yeah.
a really nice thing.
Well, we've been conditioned as women. We've been conditioned to think that, like, you know, those kinds of things are normal.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and you watch those things, it's like, oh yeah, whatever.
Another one of these. Yep.
Yes, it's really interesting. Now tell me, because you're an amazing actor, an amazing writer as well, actually. How was the transition going from being on one side of the camera to now directing?
Yeah, it was something I never ever thought I would do, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it was never an aim at all. And then recently, as you say, I've kind of started writing in the last few years, and there's a concept for a feature that I submitted to the BFI, and they very kindly have helped with the development of it.
Oh, wow.
And it's a concept that I care a lot about, and the more and more I worked, and the more I was like, it'd be really nice to maybe direct this as well, because I kind of feel so passionate about it. And I was like, well, I should probably try directing and see if I like it even before I start making grand aspirations like that.
Do you have the bug?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really enjoyed the whole process. I've worked behind the camera before as a choreographer.
Right.
So I was used to working with a DOP, and in that case a director, and visualising movement for camera and thinking about the edit and things like that. But it was fantastic to be able to really get my teeth into all elements of the production in that way. And I mean, I've got to be so thankful and so grateful to all of the team on the film, because for me to go, hi, I've never done this before, but do you want to jump on board and kind of back this and see what happens? They were all fantastic and very supportive and just wonderful to work with. So I think I've been very lucky with my first go at it.
I have to say, though, as well, there's got to be the fact that you produced, you've written, you've acted, that understanding of a set going on. Do you think, helped the process?
Majorly. It weirdly felt... I'm going to jinx myself now. Totally not. Watch the film, then make your mind up. It felt really natural, and it was a really nice experience for me. And I think, like you say, years of being an actor and having interacted with so many different directors, different crews and different sets, and again, like you say, being behind the camera in other production roles, it kind of... I'd like to think that hopefully it helped me to understand a bit more what everyone was doing. I just, I'm so aware that everyone's got such huge skill sets and knowledge bases in film when you're doing... whenever you're working with a crew or a team, and just have so much respect for everyone's individual skill sets. I was just desperately trying to make sure that I was as understanding as possible to what each person needed, and their kind of respect their knowledge and their opinion and everything like that. But definitely, I think having dipped my toe into lots of different elements, I think helped with that. So,
Well, you pulled it off. You
Thank
did
you.
pull it off. So, what was your biggest challenge? Was there any mishaps?
Mishaps. Do you know what? We were really, really lucky. We had a slight mishap at one point with fire alarms, which was
What was
which
that?
was fun. It was just actually, it wasn't from the haze machine in the end. It turned out it was a toaster in the green room. But it turns out the fire alarm system there is very, very efficient and
So it
very
works.
So it works.
Yeah.
Yep, which the location were thrilled about. But actually, also to be fair, finding location, because obviously with a very, very small budget and a film that has the writers brilliantly created a very big world, I think, and a sense of a much bigger world outside the film that I really wanted to make sure came across, but with not enough budget really to do lots of shots on subway trains and down streets and alleyways and things, and having to think about a 3-day shoot with different locations and how to make that all come together. We got really lucky that we found an amazing location where we could film everything in one building, but make it look
amazing.
very different, hopefully. But that, I think, was one of the biggest challenges, was how to do something that feels like such a big city world space on such a small budget and with that much time. That was one of the biggest challenges, I think.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is what's so incredible, though, about indie filmmakers, is the fact that to be able to create something out of so little.
Yeah.
It's always just so much respect, So what's the audience you want to see this?
What's the audience? Oh gosh, I hadn't thought about that. I don't know. I think obviously I think the subject matter probably appeals to kind of a lot of female identifying people would probably be interested in, like I said, the gender reverse. But
I think men, though, I think this is a really male film as well, which is what's interesting with the subject matter. That
because I think actually also the horror element helps then make it appeal even more broadly, I would say. And like you say, with the gender swap in it, the traditional kind of swap, I think hopefully that also broadens that appeal as well. So I don't really have a specific. Well, I feel like I should have a specific
everyone
demographic.
Should watch it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, don't you apologise. Just obviously you've done film festivals before.
Yeah.
What is it about film festivals? What is so important?
I think when I've done film festivals before, there's been two elements that have really, really mattered to me. The first one is just being exposed to such a variety of film that I think is often so original because, like you say, people are having to work within limitations and boundaries, and I think often that actually inspires more creativity because you're going to have to get creative about how you work around these things. And I think it's the same with theatre. I think it's the same with so many art forms that actually limitations often create the most amazing discoveries and results. And getting exposed to so many different films I think is fantastic. But then also the interaction between all the filmmakers and the team behind the festival and other casts and audiences as well. That's always been my biggest joy in being involved in film festivals and attending film festivals and making sure you go in person and join in and stuff, is because I've met some incredible people through film festivals, and some of us have worked together since, and we've been recommending people and putting people in touch with people, and there's something so lovely about that support network when sometimes you can feel very on your own, kind of battling to get things made and battling to get things into production or battling to get a script out there. And I think it's just really lovely to have that support of a group of people that you can pop on WhatsApp every now and then and go, can anyone help? So I'm going, yeah, I think I can. It's just, I think that's been the biggest takeaway for me from attending different festivals.
Oh, well, you know what? We are so thrilled to have you back. We're really, really excited. And I hope you meet lots and lots of people at this festival and that loads more projects come about. And then we go, us because of us.
Yes.
So, everybody, you have to watch this film, Eyes of Marge. And the festival is from the 25th of January until the 28th of January. And make sure you come on down, meet the lovely Lily and see the film. All right, thank you so much.